Let me start with a true story. Just weeks ago, a 23-year-old crypto founder appeared on a live stream, shooting himself in the face, apparently committed suicide. And moments later, a legacy token was launched. People mourned the loss of a young life and pressed the buy button. The token price surged, and millions of dollars changed hands. But then it came with a twist. Just days later, this founder was spotted alive and well at his parents' home in San Francisco. He had faked his own death to capture attention and profit. I know, it felt like an episode of Black Mirror, except it was real. And this isn't just an isolated case. It's part of a broadened pattern I've been witnessing, the one that led me to my own soul-searching journey. You see, I started my career as a TV journalist in China, reporting on the markets and technology. But I was tired of just chasing the headlines. I wanted to understand the people behind the news. So I came to Silicon Valley, the heart of innovation, and launched my own show featuring trailblazers in the tech world. And I also start advising startups, working with some of the smartest people, some of the most ambitious, and yes, maybe some of the craziest too. You know what Steve Jobs said? Those who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who do. But I also see the other side of innovation. Many founders, they are brilliant, really smart, but burned out, driven, but unhappy. In fact, a UC San Francisco research found that nearly 1 in 3 entrepreneurs struggle with mental health issues. And I see many founders obsessed with metrics. They end up building products that hook users with cheap dopamine and FOMO, fear of missing out. So over time, a pattern emerged. We built tools that are smart, but not always kind, and systems that scale, but not always in the right direction, and products that capture our attention by any means possible. So I began to ask myself, what's the point of innovation if it doesn't serve our humanity? It's like we are sailing through this vast ocean of high-speed tech, moving faster than ever, but without a map. At least we need a compass to make sure the future we're heading to is actually good for us. And I think the key lies in understand the deeper human needs. And every system we build should serve those deeper needs. And you probably heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? So we have the basics, food, safety, security, all the way to self-actualization at the top. So it's really about meanings, belongings, and purpose. But the reality is, with the tools we have, especially with AI, as the tools get smarter, we tend to optimize for speed and gratification, more clicks, more scrolls, more dopamine. But very few products are actually designed to serve those deeper human needs. So that's why I created this framework, the Soul Compass. It's a simple framework inspired by psychology, anthropology, and human-centered thinking. Think of it as the golden compass to point us back to what really matters. And when I shared this compass, when I shared this framework with my founder friends, some nodded and some were skeptical. One said, great in theory, but we need to survive and make money. Of course, I get that. But products with souls are not just morally better, they are commercially stronger too. Let me show you why. So let's look at empathy, the need to understand and to be understood. Psychologists have long told us that reading emotions is crucial for human survival. And in fact, empathy is a unique human faculty. And research from Stanford and MIT found that while AI can simulate empathy, it doesn't trigger the same response in us. So the point here is this: only humans can teach AI the rules of care and compassion. So that is why it's so important for the founders, the crazy ones, the visionaries. It's so important for them to lead with empathy, because instead of building digital drugs, we need founders to build products that really respect people's attention and generally care for the people who use them. But unfortunately, we do see some founders fall to the dark side. Take this AI companion app, for example. It initially offered emotional support to people, but later pivoted to sexually explicit interactions. And according to the team, this is what users like. Well, this is not empathy. This is indulgence and also exploitation of human weakness. I know the temptation to manipulate is strong because digital addiction is just an algorithm away. But we must ask, will we build tools that prey on human nature or elevate it? Because empathy is not weakness. Empathy is the infrastructure and foundation for sustainable growth. And next, let's look at purpose, the need to matter. Psychiatrist Viktor Frankl famously quoted Nietzsche, basically saying, if you know your why in life, you can endure and overcome any challenges in your life. But unfortunately, in today's startup world, purpose is often replaced by metrics. And founders don't just burn out from failure, they burn out from losing the why. And in fact, a Deloitte report pointed out that nearly 40% of Gen Zs and 35% of millennials feel stressed almost all the time, largely due to work, but also lack of purpose. Well, to be honest with you, I felt that too. And that is why I started the Tech with Soul initiative. Storytelling helped me rediscover my purpose. And I feel so much better ever since. And studies from Yale and Harvard backs it up. People with a stronger sense of purpose are more satisfied in life and also have lower risk of depression. And it matters in business too. Take this well-known clothing company. You might have one of their jackets. Its founder gave its entire company away to a non-profit trust and used the future profits, nearly $100 million per year, to fight climate change. And he said, Earth is now our only shareholder. Well, some skeptics might call it PR, but for me, this is purpose in action. And the result? It's created legendary brand loyalty. So you see, purpose and profits are not contradictory. In fact, purpose powers profit. And last but not least, probably one of the most important things, connection, the need to belong. So let's do a quick show of hands. How many of you have felt lonely often? Let's be honest, raise your hand. Okay, thank you. Well, don't worry, you are probably doing better than most Americans because according to APA, 1 in 3 Americans feels lonely every week, and the number keeps growing. Here's the funny thing. With the tools we have today, we're easily connected to hundreds, if not thousands, of people online. And if we want, we can talk to anyone, anytime, anywhere. Yet, we feel more isolated than ever. Why? Here's the thing. We humans are tribal animals. And anthropologist Robin Dunbar has this very interesting theory called Dunbar's number. And he pointed out that our social world is actually structured in layers. And it's not about how big your circles are, but your innermost circles, your family, your closest friends, your confidants, that matter the most to your emotional well-being. But the problem we have today is we tend to ignore those core relationships, but pay a lot of attention to the broader and artificial networks. Just think about how much time we spend on social media, scrolling down our phones, looking at the screens, instead of really being present with our loved ones. And also think about back to the story that I shared earlier. If someone's suicide could be turned into an online show, tokenized and monetized, are we really creating a sense of belonging here? So in a word, we lack deep connections. And that is why the for the founders, real changes can only happen when founders understand and value true connection and build the products around it. So connection is not just a metric, it's a sense of belonging, and we need more tech that feels human. So there you have it, the soul compass. Empathy, purpose, connection, and they are not just checkboxes, they're interdependent. And they are not only just for us humans, it's for all the AI-driven tools and machines that we build and for a better future. So if you are a founder, an investor, a builder, I would like you to ask yourself these questions when you are building or backing the next big thing. Does it cultivate empathy? Does it inspire purpose? And does it build connection? And I hope one day innovation will not only be measured by downloads or valuations, but also by how much soul it carries. Let's build with soul. Thank you.